Guys, welcome to another video, and this will be a Power BI crash course. And as much as it is a crash course, you'll be getting the very important basics and fundamentals you should know about or have on Power BI. Of course, as usual, we'll be looking at some practical ways of using it, how to answer business questions, find insight, and do a lot more. So stick with me. Of course, it will not be in full chunks like the other series we have been looking at, for example Excel, also SQL and all, but to be in 5 major modules, right? The first one will cover the entire interface, the second one will then proceed to the necessary things. But in this particular video, all you want to get is you explore with me all the interface of Power BI, majorly the important things you should know, things you should get started with using Power BI. And of course, there is more, but I'll keep that. So make sure you stick with me till the end of the video. All right, let's jump into it without wasting much time. Okay, I will not be scrolling down. I have some works down here. So if you do not have any recent file, when you scroll down, whatever you have there should be a blank what's it called, the recent files you've worked with. But if you don't have anything, it should be blank, right? It should be blank. All right, so this is what it looks like. I sometimes call it an advanced version of Excel because it gives you that Excel feel and vibe. And as we go, I will be relating and connecting Excel with it. What do I mean by that? I will pick you up from your knowledge of Excel and blend it into this particular video or series of video that is coming. Okay, so stay with me till the end of the video. As usual, it's always be practical. In this one, we might not necessarily be working with any data set. Okay, probably from the next one there'll be a data set to work with, and you'll find it in the description of that particular video. All right, so yeah, this is your home. If you have an existing BI file that you want to work with, you open it from here. You can sign in. If you have a Microsoft account, you can sign in your Microsoft account here. If you want to publish on if you want to do some major settings, we're not really explore all of this much. Like I said, the important things to get us started. Okay, so I'll click on blank reports. And these are data sources. These are common data sources we can connect Power BI to. But is this all? No, we have way much. You can see we have 2 arrows here to go forward, to go backward, to check. So but let's just jump into a blank report, the same way you open a blank workbook in Excel. Okay, so this is what we have. This is what it's looking like. And welcome to Power BI officially. Let's start with the home. Of course, the home is where we have seen earlier how we entered this place. So it looks slightly different, but it's still pretty much the same. You have your open to open existing file, to save as, to share your work, to get data, import, export. We'll not really be sticking to all of this part or using the functions we have here. By the way, just to say, if I'm too fast, if I'm speaking too fast, or if you go, okay, I'm going over it too fast, I do want to use the playback speed in one of the YouTube features to slow it down a little bit, or you can go over it the first time and then you go over it again and again, as much as you need to grab and understand the concepts. Because if it's too slow, you may also maybe like it. But if you have 2 devices, just a word of advice, it will be good that if you own another device and you do along with me on your own device. So intermittently, you might need to maybe take it backwards so that you don't miss out on anything or any specific concepts. Okay, so let's just continue with it. Before we explore the ribbons, the same way we have ribbons in Excel, but of course we don't have as much as we have in Excel in Power BI. Let's explore our options here, the views, the different views that we have. So this particular one is called the report view. Okay, so this is the report view, this is the table view, this is the model view, our DAX view, and also your TMDL view, which is basically a tabular model definition language. It's more of it's similar to YAML. Did you say YAML? YAML. So it's similar. Okay, it's just a text-based serialization format, right? Used to define the structure, the entire metadata of your semantic model. So nothing too serious, nothing you should worry about for now. As we said earlier, we're focusing on the frequent ones and or the basic ones, standard thing you need to know. So this one, the report view, the table view, and the model view is what we'll be working with most of the time. Of course, even in the DAX, we will not really be exploring it. So talk about this view one after the other. For the report view, that is where we're currently in. And if you pay attention to the bottom where we have the taskbar down here, you'll notice that just like Excel, but in Excel we have it as sheets. Okay, so to add more sheets, you can click this, you can click this, you can click this. You can see you keep adding just like that. So I can cancel or delete a sheet by clicking on the X button, and it deletes. Cancel again, delete. You cancel that, it deletes. And of course, just like Excel, you cannot delete all the sheets. So this cannot be deleted. It's like the last one. It's the default. Okay. So we have different views in. So this is to move across pages. Let me show you. Let me just add more. Currently, it's not activated. Okay. If you look at that, the button is inactive. Previous pages, next pages. Okay. So let's add more. Add more. Okay, plus. And now if you go back here, you can see that previous pages is now activated. Let me show you again. Let me zoom into that. So you can see this is now white, no longer gray. But this is gray, right? Because we're seeing the end of the pages. Alright, so let me go back. If I use this, I can move now. Alright. But we don't need all of this, so I'll delete them. So just cancel that. I think Ctrl Z will be faster. Right. Okay, almost done. Undo. Why is it not deleting anymore? Okay, let's delete ourselves. Of course, you can right click and delete it as well. It's just the same as using the X button right here. I feel that is faster. Okay, so that's fast. I'm just using the enter key instead of taking my cursor up and down. Just use the enter key, then it deletes, because by default the option is on delete. All right, so for anything we're doing, by default we have a desktop view. Okay, and this is where you consider responsiveness, majorly if the end goal is to publish the report online. Okay, if you'll be publishing it, people might not view with or on their PCs. They might view on different devices, for example mobile, their tab and all of that. So this is just for responsiveness. You can look at how your design will look like on a mobile view layout, right? Everything you've built. So but by default it will be on a desktop, and most times it does a good job to rearrange it for you for what it will look like on a mobile view. Okay, but if you don't like it, then you can also adjust that. But in this video we'll stick to the desktop layout view. Okay, all right, so on the top right, is this right? Yeah, the right, we have filters, we have page filter, we have report filter, and of course we have visual filter as well, which we'll be talking about much later in the video. And yeah, this is where we pick our charts. Unlike in Excel, we have it as in the insert ribbon at the top, right? This is where we have it in Excel. In this case, we have it right here. Let me just so we have it just here. All right, so it's easy for me this way. So we have it right here. So what did I just do? Is that you the way you have it in Excel? and you can your ribbon. So here we have different charts and we have places where we'll be dropping our columns. Now once we have connected to data, once we connect on data, we'll see. Now think of them this way so that you understand what's going on. If you connect to an Excel file with 3 sheets, once you properly connect everything, you will see all the sheet names here, as long as you have not altered it when you're trying to load it in. Of course, we'll still cover all of that. You will see their names. For example, if you say you have customer, orders, or student, enrollment, and courses, you see them student, enrollment, and courses, and they'll be collapsible and expandable. So when you expand any of those fields on this place, you'll see the list of headers. I'm using Excel now just to blend it in, right? So, but of course, you know, they are columns. So you see all the columns of fields that you have in individual sheets. But in this case, we refer to them as tables, just like in the world of databases as well. So pay attention to that. We have visualization data here. We have visualization. You can collapse and expand it at any point in time. Yes, quick one before we proceed as well. Let's come back down here quickly. This place is where we have the zoom button. Okay, this is where we have the zoom, and you can see, as usual, just like in Excel, if you click on the number directly, you can put a custom value right in here. Just select custom, put a value in here. You can take it to 100, you can take it to 200. You can see what it looks like. I think the 69 is perfect. Let's see 66. Let's just stick to what is there. All right, you just stick to the number is perfect. 69. All right. Okay, so this is what we have, and here you can do a fit to page. It's more of a zoom in and zoom out thing. Okay, more of a zoom in and zoom out thing where you fit it to page or you change the view. Okay, so we've looked at what we have right here. We've looked at what we have at the bottom. We have looked at, okay, this is the report view only itself. Now, before we explore the ribbons, let's go to the table view. Unlike Excel, where when you open your sheet, you see your data, right? You don't get to see your data that way directly in the report view. Okay, because as it were, you will not need to be doing things like pivot table and all. So underneath or underlying method visualization tool uses business intelligence visualization. Okay, business intelligence visualization tools use underline or underneath is more of the aggregation and grouping method. So they group automatically and aggregate. So you won't find things like pivot table in this particular one. Okay, just keep that in mind. So how do we see our data? Because from here, if we expand the data view, we only see the names of the columns. We don't get to see the data. So for us to see the data, we have to go to the view, and as long as we have the list, we'll click on any of the sheets, right, quote and unquote tables in this instance. We'll click on any of the tables and we'll see the data appear right here. The table view, that is the second one. Very important. You must understand this. Very important. The first one is where you create your charts. You want to do your dashboard the way we have it on Excel, where we can have many charts on a single sheet. The same way in Power BI. Okay. So that's where that's the report view. For the table view is where we have an actual data. For the model view, as you can see, this is where relationships happen. Model, how one is connected to another, and that's where we'll talk about cardinality, one-to-one, many-to-one, many-to-many, and all of that. Okay, we'll still be working through all of that. This is just to give us an overview of what we're doing. So, and I hope you noticed, or if you did not, this is something I want you to pay attention to. Now, on the report view, look at the list of ribbons we have. Okay, once I go to the table view, you can see we are the only standby one, or is it standby? The only fixed one is the insert and the help. So others are contextual. So once we change view, we get this. I go to model view, you can see home and help stays the same. So don't feel like this is a common beginner's mistake where they feel stuck and like I can't see inserts. I don't know, and they've forgotten that they are on another view completely. So don't let that be you. Just check. Let me keep this open because this is probably how you have yours, so that you don't look like, oh, my Power BI is different from your Power BI, this and that. So let me just keep it expanded that way. So regardless of the view you are, okay, make sure to always know the view you are, and you can go back easily. All right, so that's something to keep in mind. When we are working with the model view, we'll now explore some of the options right there. So let's go back to the report view quickly. And on the home, we'll explore basic things, important ones. For example, the clipboard. Of course, we do not have any data we're working with, so all of these options are what? Disabled. We cannot really do anything. For example, I can't copy anything, I can't paste anything, I don't even have anything at all, right? So that's why this is completely blanked out. But just like we have it in Excel, the copy and paste, cut, move, that's what we have in the clipboard section. Our format painter, we have everything we used to have in Excel just right at this corner. And of course, just like in Excel, where we can get and transfer data, or we can get data, we can click on, now pay attention, this entire section. Of course, I'm on dark mode, so I believe you can still see it clearly. This is a line, this is a line. So this entire section is called data. So that's how we connect to a data. We have the get data, and we have the list of frequent or common or popular options. Okay, SQL Server, data vars, which is Microsoft owned. Okay, Excel workbook, and maybe you want to create a table or data, you want to enter your data yourself. It says create a new table by typing or pasting in a new content. So this allows you to do that. If you don't know, you can click it and you see what it looks like. So very easy and nice. Feel free to check it out. So all this section is how we connect to data. All right, so if I have something copied, I can just paste it and all of them will appear nicely here. So I can edit the column, I can put something in the row, I can add more rows, I can add more columns. You can see, very nice, very nice. So you can create your table from the scratch, just like you have it in Excel, but it's not as fun and as flexible as you have it in Excel. But it is actually, it's just the experience. For the first time, it feels like this is different, this is off. Okay, so anyway, we will not be doing that, so I'll just cancel it. Yes, I'm sure. All right, so it's a list of common options. If you have recent sources you've connected to, you can just, or maybe you connect to a particular source often times, you just click on recent source. But let's see the flexibility and powerful options that Power BI offer. So we click on get data, and you can see we have quite a lot, but they're not all showing yet, right? Excel workbook, Power BI semantic models, data flows, data vars, SQL Server, analysis service, CSV, web, or field, or data, blank query, something from scratch, Power BI app templates. But let's look at more. That's where we get to explore what we have properly. Okay, good. Now we have all. So let's click on file and see they are grouped as well. Files, connect to files, different databases. Okay, different databases, Microsoft Fabric options, Microsoft System, ecosystem. So you can see these are Microsoft ecosystem options. Power Platform, Microsoft owned. We also have these, Azure, different connections, online services, you can see, and others as well. So the options are, as it were, limitless. Okay, so you can do more and more and more with it. In fact, you can have some other connectors that are not directly right here. Okay, so cancel. The next is the query section. Now, wherever you find queries or as a group of options right here, of course, we don't have anything. There's nothing to refresh, and that's why it is disabled. Okay, so wherever we find the query option, that is how we get into Power Query. Okay, and we'll be exploring Power Query in the series of this particular video. We'll be exploring Power Query. Now, we want to add a chart. You can see, you can just pick a chart, get the data, but I don't have any data at the moment, so I'll cancel this and delete the charts. We'll probably not be using this option for getting charts most times. We'll probably be sticking with this. Okay, we'll be sticking with the options right here. For more visuals, that means additional ones, and also get that here. So there are some charts that are not here. Power makes it so flexible such that you don't stress much. Okay, you don't stress much. To create beautiful dashboards are more easy when using Power BI. But of course, one thing you should also keep in mind is that the more templates you get, the less flexibility you have. But you don't have to worry about that. I'm just saying, in the advanced way, when you think of that in a more advanced way, you say that, okay, based on this template, there is little I can do, and that's why sometimes we have to fine tune again and say, oh, this is better, this is better. But let's not talk about all of that. You just need something to get started with Power BI. So, but if you're the curious type and you really want to do more, just keep that at the back of your mind or in your mind, wherever. Text box as well, we can bring in text box. Now, this particular place, this will be enabled once we have data where we can create, where we can use DAX to do some nice things. Create a new column, create measures, all of those things. And this particular place is very important. And that is where share. That's where you publish your work online. If you have a Power BI, if you have a Microsoft account, licensed Microsoft account, or you can start with the basic on Microsoft accounts to publish your work online, share with your friends, share with your colleagues, and all of that. You can do that directly from here. And yes, you have the option for Copilot in your Power BI. You might need to sign in if you want to use it anyway. So the Insert tab is just what we have there, nothing serious. As we move, we'll start picking what we need. Shapes and all, images, you want to bring them in. Buttons, you have them right here. Of course, your charts, new charts, and all of those things. These are cool things that we might explore later. Very nice. This AI visual is very important. But they are very good to know. So modeling is where we can manage relationships, create table, create column, parameters, etc., etc. Row level security and all. We have the options right here. For the view, we can customize our themes and colors. We'll do all of those things. And now right here, yeah, that's for the themes. Your layout, you have here your page view. You can change things. You can see snap to grid, lock objects, and all of that. So if you want grid lines, you get all of those things. Snap to grid is when you're moving something and it's adjusting to the closest object based on some underlying grid lines and all of that. So that's that about that. Filter. Now remember this guy. So if I take it out, it's gone. Okay, it is gone. So if I bring it back, just in case yours is missing and you can't find it, so that's how you bring it back. For bookmark as well, I can add that. For selection as well, I can add that. This will be useful when we start having shapes and all. I want to move one shape to the top of another. This is a very good time to use it. So I'll take that out, take that out. Alright, what else? AI help. Let's just go to help. You can see you have guided learning, showing videos, documentation, the blogs, places where you can do things. And it's a good thing to explore. Okay, feel free to explore all of that. Alright, basically, the basic thing you need to get started with is what we've covered, and I think we can just stop this video now and continue in another one where we connect to the first data. So just consider this an overview, understand where you can find this, where you can find this. By the way, before we call it a wrap, once we pick a chart, for example, we'll have, pay attention, this is a little bit contextual. Okay, a little bit contextual, because if I click out, you see that I'm only getting 2 options. But when I click a particular chart, I get the third one. Okay. So, and what you see, if I click on format, I'm seeing page, canvas. That's because I'm not clicking on the chart, and this is a common beginner's mistake. But if I click on this and I click back here, then I'll see the right options. But currently I don't have any data, I don't have anything to format in this particular chart. Okay, so what else? Let's scroll down. I think that's basically it for now. So yeah, make sure you go through this, understand the basic. Now you've been introduced to Power BI. Let's get started in the next video.